Hello, singers and friends. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Miki, and I am your friendly neighborhood singing coach. Thank you so much to all of my patrons. I was really happy at the wonderful response to my new Patreon page. If you have not joined yet and you would like to, I will put the link in the description box below. For the $5 tier, you get an extra video every week, a secret link that's only available to my patrons. And at the $10 level, you get to bump your requests to the front of my queue. So today I'm going to be reacting to another Angelina Jordan video, and this was requested by my patron Angel Solis. And this time I wanted to do a little bit more background research about Angelina, because last time I just jumped into it blind, having heard one of her songs previously. So I like to kind of do a little bit of background research usually. So I'm here on her Wikipedia page, and Angelina Jordan a Star, lovely name, is Norwegian, and she was born in 2006, which makes me feel very old because she is only 14 years old. And she rose to notoriety when she auditioned for the 2014 season of Norway's Got Talent at the tender age of 7, singing Gloomy Sunday in the style of Billie Holiday. Apparently that went viral, and that really launched her career. She won the competition performing George Gershwin's Summertime. And apparently she also is a very good person. She's been involved in a lot of charitable work, especially on behalf of environmental issues and children's charities. And one tidbit that I thought was very interesting is that she always performs without shoes, because while she was traveling, she saw a little girl who was too poor to have a pair of shoes, and she vowed that she would not wear shoes in her performances until every child in the world had a pair of shoes of their own. So she obviously is a very compassionate and kind person, and I just think that's really lovely, because I think we're all born into this world having compassion for our fellow humans and for nature, and sometimes life kind of knocks that out of us and we become hardened to the world. So it's really nice to see that she has a really pure innocence about her, and she was able to be recognized for her talent while still having that childlike compassion and innocence. So the video that Angel requested is Angelina performing When We Were Young by Adele at the age of 13. I'm very excited to hear this. I love this song, and it is really cute that at the age of 13, she's singing a song When We Were Young. So here we go.
Everybody loves the thing you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. Everybody here is watching you, 'cause you feel like home. You're like a dream come true. But if by chance you're alone, can I have a moment before I go? 'Cause I've been here by myself all night long, hoping you're someone I used to know. You still look like a movie, you sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this life, in case this is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before in real life. We were sad again. I was so scared to face my fears, 'cause nobody told me you'll be here. And I swear I'm overseas. That's what you said when you left me. You still look like a movie. You still sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this life, in case this is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were celebrated all. It made us restless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song when we were young.
So I think this is a really lovely version. I expected it to sound more like Adele from the description of what people were telling me. She does have a chameleonic quality to her voice. I'll give her that. She really does have an ability to sound different from one performance to the next. This sounds very, very different from Someone You Loved by Lewis Capaldi. Very, very different. But it doesn't sound exactly like Adele. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. Her voice does not have that just massive physical power of Adele's. Adele, she just has a big, big voice. And Adele has been known to have vocal issues because of the way that she strains and really pulls her chest voice really high. So I'm not saying that that's better or worse or judging one, but it just doesn't sound exactly like Adele. Not only in the power of it, but also in the enunciation of her words. Angelina is being much more lazy with her pronunciation. So her words kind of slide together more than Adele's do. But I like Angelina's a lot. I just think it's kind of a different interpretation. It is an homage to the Adele for sure. And you can hear that she's trying to sound like her a little bit, but she's not a clone of her by any means. She doesn't sound exactly like Adele. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think she puts her own spin on it. And it's almost like Adele light in a way. So when she starts, it's a lot more gentle. And I was wondering if she was ever really gonna belt. And then when she got to the chorus, she did. She brought that power. It wasn't this full body, big, huge Adele voice, but there was definitely some really, really nice power in there. So let's go back to the beginning and kind of look a little bit at what she's doing. The other thing that I would ask you to kind of take note of is her physical posture. So she kind of has a little bit of an underbite and she doesn't open her jaw straight down. So normally you know, if you're teaching like pure singing technique, when you have vowels like ah, for example, you really want to drop your jaw straight down, that ah, right? I see a little bit of this happening, ah, where her mouth is a little bit closed and it makes her sound a little bit more contained. So it's not so out in front, it's a little bit further back placed. Again, I'm not saying that this is bad or worse or better or best or whatever. I'm just saying that this is different than what you would normally see in somebody who's like really like purely trained from like a classical standpoint. But I think she sounds amazing and I think it works for her. So she's doing something that's really unique and bringing her own spin to this song, and I prefer it than hearing just an exact Adele clone. So let's go back to the beginning and kind of take a little bit of a deeper dive on some of her technique here.
Everybody loves the thing you do, from the way you talk to the way you move.
So I really, really like her breathy, kind of delicate quality. I love that she has that low range when she drops down to the way you move. But there's a certain gentleness to it and innocence to it. And of course, I mean, she's 13 years old, so she's not gonna have this like massive voice, you know? And I really, really like that. It's much sweeter than the Adele version, right? The Adele version, here, let's skip over and just listen to a second of this. So this is from the Live at the Church Studios version.
Everybody loves the things you do, from the way you talk to the way you move.
So you just feel that her vocal placement is lower, right? It's really like coming out of the earth. Everybody loves the things you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. But she's really placing her resonance low, right? So you really feel that like full-bodied resonance and richness. You're getting a lot of those low overtones in her voice. Now let's go back to the Angelina for a second.
Everybody loves the thing you do.
It's much sweeter. Everybody loves the things you do.
From the way you talk
The way you
to the way you
move. So she has to go breathy to get down there, right? To the way you move. Whereas Adele is just like, to the way you move. Fully down there.
Everybody here is watching you, 'cause you feel like home.
Very delicate.
You're like a dream come true.
So Angelina has a little bit of that vocal fry in the beginning. Everybody here is watching you, 'cause you feel like home. She does a little bit of fry into that line, but she doesn't have the raggediness to her voice that Adele has. Adele sounds like her voice has gotten some wear, and obviously she's a much more mature woman. She's been singing for many more years. She's been abusing her voice a little bit more, but there's a certain like grit to her voice that Angelina doesn't have yet, you know?
But if by chance you're alone, can I have
I'll just point out also that Adele's band is much tighter than this group. I'm assuming that they picked a bunch of covers to do at this festival and they learned them like right before. So you hear the bass player kind of flubbing some notes there. But I almost like that it's this really sparse instrumentation that's backing her up because it really allows her voice to shine. There's barely anything there, right? You just hear that very, very delicate little bit of drums, some bass, and occasionally a little plucked guitar, but there's like barely anything there. It's hard for her to get down there before I go, right?
'Cause I've been here by myself on alone.
Her mouth is very closed, right? She's a little bit of that. That was a nice ornament.
You sound like a song.
So there she's trying to imitate the like glottal stops of Adele, but it's still much more delicate, right? So by here I was kind of wondering if she was going to go for it, but then when she gets that chorus, she really opens up nicely.
That just reminds me of when we were young.
So she's much more in her nasopharynx. Let me photograph, in case this is the last time. Whereas let's listen to the Adele chorus.
Let me photograph you in this life.
She's much more, her resonance is much lower. Let me photograph you in this light in case this is the last time. Her voice is much rounder and lower, you know? So Angelina's is like a much more innocent, kind of a pretty version of it. And I like it. It's different, but it's really cool. It's much more up here. Very
It
pretty,
was just like a movie.
but much more delicate.
It was just like a song.
That was a gorgeous ornament there.
I was so scared to face my fears, 'cause nobody told me you'd be here. And I swear I move overseas. That's all you said.
So also she's blurring her words together, right? If I didn't know what the lyrics were, I don't know if I would be able to tell, right? It's, I was so scared to face my fears. It's all like very, very smooth. And I don't mind it. It's very, very pretty and soothing. There's nothing like sticking out in her enunciation. But again, let's listen to the Adele and how she does it.
I was so scared to face my fears, 'cause nobody told me.
There you really hear every word, because nobody told me, right? She's really enunciating those words, and it's a little bit punchier and more jagged. It's less of a smooth ride. Angelina's is much more flowy and one long phrasing line.
When you left me, it still looked like a movie. It still sounds like a song. I got this reminds me of when we were young. We photographed you in this life, in case this is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were separated. Oh, it made us restless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. When we were young.
Very, very pretty. And it's more fitting to someone that's her age, that it has that sweetness and that innocence. That it's not like, oh, like so big, you know? And you can tell at the end, the way she smiles, she's so humble, and just like, there's a sweetness to her that's like very childlike and endearing. So very different, in my opinion, from the Adele, but really beautiful in its own right. And I love that she did her own spin and it's not just a clone. So I enjoyed it very much. Thank you for the suggestion, Angel, and thank you for being my patron. And I will see all of you here next Monday for another singing video. Until then, stay well, stay safe, and of course, happy singing.